India is an adventurous paradise. You head out for a holiday, which quickly turns into a survival situation. A dream turns into a nightmare.
I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I'm lost.
Shelter, water, and food become a priority. A fire to keep you warm. But how? I'm Chandan Lahiri from OTS Survival School. I'll give you some tips and show you some tricks to use in a self-reliant situation. Do not think problems can only happen to other people. It can happen to you.
I'm going to be setting up my shelter for the night, and this is the place I've chosen, and I'm putting up a hammock. This is one tree on one side, that's the other tree on another side. And a little while ago when I just came in, I had cleared out a lot of these thorns which are there on this tree, because these thorns are actually killers. Let me try and show you what I'm talking about. This is a small guy, and it's thinner than thin, but look at these thorns. These are small thorns, but there are others where the thorns are almost, look at these. If you can see these thorns, see that? It's almost an entire knuckle of mine. That's about an inch and more. Look at this. This guy is long, and they're very sharp, they're very pointy, and it's not good to be pierced and poked with these babies. So when you're setting up your shelter, just make sure, take your time, just make sure that you clear your area of anything that can hurt you. And these thorns can really hurt you. So take your knife, take your axe, and if you're using a tree, for instance, to put up your hammock, or using the tree to set up your top, just clear it out of things that can hurt you, things like thorns. So that's something that I've cleared up. And this is one tree, and right across is that eucalyptus tree. That's the second tree that I'm going to be using. Now this is my hammock setup. It's a little too bulky for what I would like, but even then, when you compress it, it's not very big. It can get into my day pack. It's nice and small. Now one reason for the bulk is I have these ropes. Now these ropes are extenders. In case the rope that is tied to my hammock is not long enough to reach across both the trees, then I put an extender. I don't think I'll need an extender today, but in any case I'll show you how it can be done. So let me put up my hammock. And essentially that's what it is. As far as possible, try and keep your things clean. Try and see that it doesn't touch the floor and get dirty. Dirty it will get, but try and minimize it as much as you can. Okay, so this is one side of my hammock. That's the rope tied. It's tied to the end of this piece of the hammock, and this is what we're going to be putting across that tree. Now I want to put this piece over my shoulder so it's not on the forest floor. Now it's going across around this tree, so what I'll do is I'll just take the cord and wrap it around the tree, almost like a cloverleaf fashion actually, because I need the hammock to be as close to the tree, because the distance between my two structures is not too much. Now, as you can see, it's not going around another time, and it's going to be loose. So what I'll do is wrap around this rope itself and put it in this loop. Now ideally this should be a carabiner. Now I like saving money, I like my monies. penny saved is a penny earned. This cost me some 30 rupees, and a carabiner would cost me 800 to 1,000, sometimes more. So I'm testing this out, and I've used it for a fair length of time, and it's doing just great. So one side of our hammock is up. You can decide how high you want it, how low you want it, how taut you want it. I don't want it too high. As long as when I'm sitting on it, it's about 2 feet off the ground, I'm good. Now to put it the other side. Which I'm going to take across these two trees. Now as you can see, there's a lot of space, right? But when I'm sitting on it, the space is going to increase because it is going to sag. So after you set up your hammock, just sit on it for a while, let the tops, and I just poke myself again. Be very careful of these thorns because they will poke you, and it's no fun. It's frustrating the first few times, but once you keep getting poked, life becomes more predictable. I like my hammock as tight as possible, as straight as possible. It's never going to be straight. It's always going to have a sag. It's going to have a curvature as you're lying on it. But when you're setting it up, try and make it. And one way to tighten it is to take the cord. One way to tighten it is take it once around the tree, take it around this rope once, and pull it against itself like that. So it'll become tighter, and then you can pull it, and it's becoming difficult to get these two to meet, but once I've sat on that hammock, you'll find that it has lost a lot of its tension. Oh boy. And like I keep saying, nothing about survival is easy, quick, and it slipped. So I'll have to do that all over again. Pull it across, pull it tight, and there you have it. Now this is not going anywhere. So I've got my hammock set up, as you can see, and what there is on two sides is these elastic ropes, and what I suspect these are for is to tie it against a tree so that you can pull yourself and have a swing. I don't want a swing. Whatever natural swing the wind is going to give me is good for me. So all I'll do is hang it up like I've done on the other side, and I'll show you. And I don't want cords hanging around. All I've done on the other side is the same elastic rope. I just hanged it up. So that's my hammock setup. Now as you can see, it's also got a mosquito net, and there's a fair bit of tension on the ridgeline. It's got a mosquito net, which is very useful in the jungle because of all the mosquitoes, all the bugs, all the insects which will come to keep you company through the night. And when you're trying to sleep and you're tired, you're in the middle of the wilderness, you don't want all that. You don't want mosquitoes biting you and bugs irritating you. So therefore the mosquito nest, which is a very good idea. But during the day, when you just want to relax, sit down, read a book maybe, write your notes, that's when just take the zipper. You can open up the net. You can flip it over. Now you can sit on it without necessarily having the mosquito cover. Now when you're sitting on it for the first time, don't do it in a hurry, because there is going to be a little bit of sag. You don't know how much it is going to sag. You don't know the amount of tension that the ropes at the end of the hammock will take. it is going to lose a little bit of tension. So just test it out before you put your entire weight on it. So just and I can feel the ropes tensioning. And there you go. Sitting in the day is a very comfortable way of spending your time. I haven't spread this out, I can spread it out even more to be a lot more comfortable, as you can see. I can put the net behind me if I want. It also works as a neck rest. My feet are off the floor and my hammock is off the floor. Now, when you're making shelter, you're looking for a flat piece of ground, which is much easier to find in an environment like this in a jungle. The advantage of a hammock in a jungle is it is immediately off the floor, which is full of bugs and insects, maybe snakes, maybe scorpions, and you're immediately off the floor. But imagine yourself in hilly terrain where you got slopes and you're looking for a flat ground to make your shelter. Very difficult to find. But if you find two trees, you can rig up your hammock and you're immediately off the floor. It doesn't matter whether the ground underneath is sloping or not. You're immediately, if it's marshy ground for instance, or swamps there, or anything of that nature which makes you forces you almost to be off the ground. So instead of spending all that energy making a swamp bed or a bed platform with logs, woods, bamboo or whatever, just carry a hammock. All you need to do is find two trees, string up your hammock, and there you have it. And when I need to lie down at night, all I need to do is put my feet up. And then just flip the net over and you're protected from all bugs, insects, mosquitoes, dry leaves falling from the trees up there. You got yourself a sleep system. Hammock camping takes a little getting used to because we are not used to sleeping in a curvature. We are not used to sleeping with the folds, forcing us to be in one position. But if you get used to it, a hammock is an extremely good way, comfortable way, an easy way to make shelter when you're out there in the wilderness. Just lie down and go to sleep. Be careful of these. Now that came in with my shoe, and that's a little, I wonder if you can see it. There's one, two, there's two there, that's four thorns. And if you don't find this before you go to sleep, this is the one which is going to punch holes into you throughout the night. Be very careful. Now in the beginning what I told you is I'll show you the need for the extenders in case this is not in case my cords on the hammock are not long enough. These are my extenders. Now essentially it's a rope, and I've doubled it over, made it a half. So one length of rope, turn it into half, and then I've got knots pretty much all the way down. Now what this will do is, if this rope is not long enough to go around this tree and anchor my hammock, I can use this extender, take it around the tree, and the loop that I have, put the other end through that. Right. Now this is my extender. I've got that much of rope on both sides if I so desire. So if my trees are further apart. This is about 5 feet and I've got another 5 feet, so that's about 10 feet. Even if this cord on both sides are 10 feet short, I can use an extender like this. All that I'll do is decide what length I require. I'll take my carabiner or this iron S and plug it into one of these knots wherever I need the hammock so that it's tight and rigid. So whether it's here, whether it's here, whether it's here, whether it's here, and if you need to tie another knot in the middle, it's a straight, simple overhand knot. It's as simple as that. And if you need to tie another knot, just go ahead and do that. So just go ahead and do that. So in case you fall short of cord, you can use an extender like this, and don't go around looking for two trees with exactly the same distance that you saw require. It might be very difficult to find. So that's my hammock system. It can be set up in about less than 2 minutes, I would say. And you can be rest assured you'll be sleeping comfortably throughout the night without any bugs, without any insects, because of the mosquito net. These are available without the mosquito net also, but I prefer the one with the net because I have an option of using the net. If I don't want the net, I can remove it. It takes you off the ground, so you don't have any thorns or anything else. You're away from all the creatures which are on the forest floor at night, snakes, scorpions, other bugs, and that's a good way to go to sleep. I'll catch you later.
Learn to adapt, improvise, innovate, and overcome. To learn more tips and tricks, visit this site. I'm Chandan Lahiri, and I hope to see you soon at the OTS Survival School. Leave nothing but footprints. Bring back nothing but memories.